not about whether marijuana clubs are good. This is not about it not in my neighborhood. This is about fairness of being both sides being able to get their voices heard. That's why it is to me.
So therefore, I am supporting this ordinance, and give us time to develop, give you time, give the staff time to develop rules, regulations, and standards.
And legalize it for tax revenue. Manitou Springs is swimming in money, and instead of fighting a social trend, it should capitalize on it before it becomes out of control.
We have a state law that allows us to use it recreationally. We have a state law that allows us to use it medically. Not disputing that at all. So it needs some kind of regulation.
As we've seen here today, we do see lots of confusion in the law and the code, and I hope that we take those 6 months time to make a very good ordinance that does regulate this industry.
Primary point is there's no community input whatsoever, even like there is for the alcohol. When we get notice from the board that there's an application been put in and we have an opportunity for public input, we need to look at controlling what can be provided in the clubs, just like we do in the difference between a tavern and a hotel license.
They are not governed by hours of operation, such as the people who run liquor establishments. There have been no development plan applications or neighborhood hearings. We know what it is to have an application come forward to a neighborhood and have an opportunity to talk about it and either say this really would work for our neighborhood or it wouldn't. Sure, we lose a lot and sometimes we win some, but that isn't even an option.
And I have no problems with anybody behind me and how they smoke and where they do it, but there are people in the system who are abusing it. Let's not forget our original goals while at the same time respecting individuals.
Cannabis clubs should have to go through the same licensing processes and should have to ask neighbors if it's okay for them to move in, such as conditional use, just like the alcohol. This is what is required for liquor stores and bars, so why shouldn't it be the same for the cannabis clubs?
So that responsible users could contribute to society and the government could raise tax money. You should favor the clubs as an outlet for responsible users and a source of revenue.
But I think at some point the city of Colorado Springs needs to slow down a little bit. When the marijuana laws were initiated, they were supposed to parallel the liquor licensing, and basically whatever the liquor law was supposed to be a marijuana law, and it was supposed to mirror, and it didn't. The thing that was left out was the needs and desires of the citizens. So basically what that means is that if I wanted to open up, that I would have to go and ask the citizens surrounding that area if the citizens in that area had a need and desire that it should be established and should be allowed. That's how the bars, that's how the retail liquor license works. But see, when the law was initiated, that was left out. My fear is, I think there is a need for the clubs, but my fear is that it's not regulated. They're going to be able to pop up wherever they decide to be, because nobody ever asked the needs and desires of the community, the neighborhood. So if you're going to be considering this, I think somewhere along the line, that needs to be incorporated as part of the standards of issuing these licenses, that the community surrounding it, just like the liquor licenses, should be consulted to see if, yes, there's a need, and yes, they desire that in that area. I have no problems with the business. What we have now is that we've got people smoking in their houses, smoking in front of children, smoking in their backyards. I do have allergies to it, but it's a business, and I get it, and you've regulated it how you may. But eventually we're going to have a problem where somebody says, you know what, that noxious odor is not okay, and I don't want this person that's in the townhouse that I'm in next door to me smoking anymore. So that guy's going to be in violation of a law. Well, where did they go to smoke? So I think there's a need for it. I'm just not sure that we should just raise our hand and say we should give them the licenses, how many they need. I think we need to incorporate that needs and desires back in it, let it mirror the liquor license the way it's supposed to be, and that's all I had to say.
We don't have any similar thing from marijuana clubs because we haven't got there yet. So this is not about whether marijuana clubs are good. This is not about it not in my neighborhood. This is about fairness of being both sides being able to get their voices heard.